And we're live. What's up, man? How's it going?
Chilling, man. How about you?
I'm good, man. Everybody, welcome to the third episode of season 1, the Northwest Checkdown. I'm Fubar.
And I go by Thicc Duvet.
And we're really glad you guys could join us tonight. So for everyone who's been with us for the first 2 episodes, the big thing I want to announce is we've not only put our content up on Twitch, we're also on YouTube, and we also have a website. We just got up, northwestcheckdown.com, and this will be our centralized place for having some of our video content. If we have a blog, it'll be our blog content, but we'll also be able to point you to some of the other stuff we do, like DJ Thicc Duvet, and he's DJing. So I'll just bring that up real quick so everyone can see it. This is it, northwestcheckdown.com. Feel free to check it out. On future episodes, we'll incorporate the website more, and we'll also be able to, you'll be able to find us on YouTube. So, and also you can find DJ Thicc Duvet on, is it Mixcloud? Is that where you host your mixes, man? All right, sweet.
Yeah, it's on Mixcloud. Sorry.
No, that's awesome, man. That's just fine. So, yeah, man, how was your week? Let's do the check down checkup, man. Tell me about your week. What'd you do?
Well, Monday was my birthday, and I was gracious enough to give that off to everybody for President's Day. You feel me? Because I'm very presidential.
There you go.
Nah, so yeah, it was my birthday on Monday, and then so it was a 3-day weekend and my birthday, but I literally didn't do anything. I just kind of hung out, laid low, played some video games, and yeah, I mean, like, what else can we do, right? Usually for my birthday, I like to go out and I like to have fun. I like to go out to eat, but none of that is safe, and I take this very seriously. So I go out very little to minimize any kind of chance that I could contract COVID, at least until I get my vaccine. But still, I mean, even if I was vaccinated completely, still could have it on me and transmit it to somebody else. So
Absolutely.
That's not something I'm trying to do either. So stay at home.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's fine. I think prioritizing your health is definitely the best way to go, man. I remember back in the day, so since you couldn't celebrate your birthday this time, I'm gonna bring up a story way back. It's a good story. I'm not gonna make you look bad. You told me, so you had already graduated from college, and you were like, "Hey man, come out to my birthday. It's gonna be in Seattle." I'm like, "Okay, all right, that's cool. I'll go." And I told Preeti, I'm like, let's go to, I think it was in Belltown, like some bar in Belltown in Seattle. And we drove from Bellingham. And when we got there, we parked. And I tried to call you, but you weren't picking up. So I think I called Jordan. I'm like, Jordan, what's up, man? Where's everybody at? He's like, we're here, man. We're just, we're inside this bar. And by the time we got there, you were like already on your way out. You were ready to leave and go get some food. And I think it's because you had started the night early, and you were pretty much done at that point. And I'm like, all right, well, we'll go someplace else. And then we went to some restaurant, and it was solid. That's when I ended up talking with Brandon about working at T-Mobile and trying to find out what employment was like there. And he was going to refer me and tell me how to get in. Alec, I'm sorry. I was talking to Alec. Yeah, man, that was a good time. That was a good time, man. You had a pretty good birthday at that time.
Which one was this? You have to remind me. I've had several birthdays in Belltown, but I've also had several birthdays at other places. What restaurant did we eat at, and what else did we do that night? I'm just trying to remember.
Well, I ended up joining you guys kind of late. It was an hour and 45-minute drive from Bellingham, and by the time I got there, you were coming up out of this. It was like a nightclub, and you had already like had a hell of a time, and you were done. You were like, I want to get some food, and we all just mobbed over to some restaurant. I don't remember. I remember that we were all standing, and it wasn't like a sit down restaurant. It was like It was like happy hour. They turned it into like a happy hour spot. I don't remember. I don't remember the restaurant. I remember some of the food.
Was this 2006? I'm just trying to remember, man. I'm sorry. I'm like really stuck on like what date this was because I could give more details if I remember. But of course, the older we get, the more I forget things.
So 2006, you were coming up more because more of your friends, including myself, were still on campus. I think this was afterwards. I think this was like 2008.
So 07?
07, 08. Yeah, around that time. Not 09. 09, I was back in Tacoma. So definitely either 07 or 08. One of the two.
So it's probably 07.
Possibly. Yeah. But since you couldn't celebrate it this year, we could reminisce about that time. That was fun though, man. I had a good time. Had a real good time,
I was just talking with my mom just now, and she was talking about. I was like, "Yeah, I got my show with Tyler," and she was like, "Oh yeah, Tyler, he was the one that was kissing his girlfriend over there on the couch." And the story about that is, I know you said that you were going to embarrass me, and I hope this isn't embarrassing you. So I had a birthday party that was at the house that I currently live in, and this was back in the day. My parents had already moved to Europe, and so me and my sister had planned this really big birthday party, right? Because we're like post college, but we have this house all to ourselves because our parents live overseas.
Yeah.
And we had already planned this birthday party, and then my mom says, "Hey, I'm gonna surprise your sister by coming home for your guys' birthdays, but it'll be on Jen's birthday."
Okay.
And I was like, and she was like, "Yeah, don't tell Jen, and I need you to pick me up from the airport." And I was like, and it was a couple days before my sister's birthday anyways. So I was like, Mom, we're having a house party. And she was like, so? And I was like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, we're having a house party, you know, there's gonna be a lot of drinking. She's like, don't cancel it. Like, I'll just be there. And I was like, are you gonna party with a bunch of 20-year-olds? She's like, I don't know, we'll see. And so we ended up having the party, and my mom drank and partied with us.
Yes, she
if
did,
you remember.
Yeah, no, she was
But like at
cool.
2 a.m. we were trying to leave to go get like fast food, Jack in the Box, whatever. And my mom's like, where is everyone trying to go? Nobody should be driving. And we're like, we need some food. And my mom's like, I can just make food. So she made like chicken adobo, fried rice, and whatever. And then made everybody sleep over. So everyone found like a corner in the house. All the couches, the floors were all taken. But the one thing she remembered, it wasn't my first time. It wasn't my mom's first time meeting you and Preeti.
Yeah, yeah.
But she really did remember walking into a corner, like, and then like seeing you guys making out, and then completely 180 turning around, like, well, I'm not going over there to that corner. And so she brought that up just now when I said that we're gonna have our show tonight and we're gonna stream. She was like, oh yeah, Tyler's the one that was making out with that girl. I'm like, well, that girl is now a woman. They're now a married couple. They now have 2 sons and a house, and they work. So we've come a long way from partying in our 20s and making out in dark corners of friends' houses.
Yeah, man. Long time from that point, man. Oh yeah, a long time from going to McDonald's in the middle of the night, thinking, what can I get for $2.25? That was my mission back in the day when we were kicking it. $2.25. What can I get for that? So it's solid now, man. I know you remember that. You be talking about, I should have, you know what? All that time I spent buying McDonald's food, I should have bought stock in McDonald's. Maybe just 1, 2 stocks. It would have been better than spending all that money in the drive-through. But yeah, man. So one of the first topics I wanted to bring up is, I don't know if you'd be into this, man, but apparently there are like adult family football, flag football leagues, where they have kids and adults playing flag football throughout the Northwest. And they're also minor league football leagues. I thought about getting my son involved in one of them, man. But the discussion I wanted to bring up is this.
You want me to coach? You want me to head coach? I need a multi-year deal. You feel me?
Okay.
I need a $10 million signing bonus. You feel me? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. That's I mean, if you were trying to be a coach, that's a hard job. So I'll detour real quick. I actually went to high school with someone who, old boy played basketball in my high school. They won state. He got a scholarship to go play at Eastern Washington University. Did good, and then after he graduated, started coaching on that team, and then left Eastern as a coach and started coaching other teams around the country. And I know from following this on Facebook, and now he's back coaching at TCC in our old high school. And I remember thinking to myself, when I was a freshman and he was a junior about to be a senior, he would talk about he wanted to be a coach. He was talking about it then when we were in high school. And I look at how hard he worked to have that career, and I'm like, man, coaches, to become those $10 million coaches, man, they go through the ringer, having to coach in different colleges or different pro leagues, different positions. Have you watched The Last Dance, the documentary on the Chicago Bulls and their dynasty? Have you watched that at all?
Nah.
Oh man, has anybody watched The Last
Count
Dance?
all day, bro.
Has anybody watched The Last Dance? Give me some ones in the chat. That shit was lit. I don't know. Michael Jordan.
I know.
Michael Jordan was a
Basketball
superhero,
fans, basketball fans love that. And no matter what pop culture, when you look at a champion, you know, everyone always brings up Jordan and the Bulls.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a Supersonics. That's actually coincidentally their name. But I will rep Seattle, and I still remember watching the finals. Sonics versus the Bulls.
The Bulls, yeah.
I remember that very vividly. And so yeah, man, I represent the town, you know. I don't really Jordans, you know, like the shoe and the brand and the Bulls and the history. I ain't with all that. You feel me?
Oh man.
It's just me, bro. It's me, right? It's me. So I would rather own Gary Payton's shoe over a pair of Jordans. And shoe fans will hate me, and Jordan fans will hate me. But you know, I'm a do me. So when I hear this documentary, Michael Jordan, I'm like, I'm not that big of a basketball fan where it doesn't matter where I will watch it.
Yeah. I loved it.
If I was a bigger basketball fan, loving the sport way more, than I would probably watch it out of the fact that I love the sport. But I also love football, right? But you're not going to catch me watching 30 for 30 on the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? Or the Dallas Cowboys, right?
Well,
like I like the sport and I like watching it, but I'm always rep my team. I'm gonna watch that when it comes to my team. That's just me, man. I'm not that interested in really watching. You know.
I'm a little different. Like, I think because I guess when I was a kid, I wanted to play pro sports. I followed, you know, whoever the best was at the time and idolized them. The thing that I actually, my views have changed. I used to be very, you know, pro local teams, right? Pro Seahawks. I'm still very much a Seahawks fan, but at times I am more of a fan of a player than a team. Like when Marshawn left, I'm still a Marshawn
Word,
fan.
yep.
I'll watch him in Oakland, you know. I still, you know, mess with Earl Taylor. I loved Earl Taylor. Earl Thomas. I know, right? So I'm kind of like that. Like, I'll follow the players that I really like, you know, especially if they're hometown players. But yeah, what I was trying to get at was more of a question of this, right? I have kids, and now that I have kids, I played football, and with all of the evidence that's come out about the danger of playing football, I'm like, should I let my kid play football? Right? They have a flag football team. It's fine. It's not the same as contact football. But what are your thoughts, man? Would you do it? You know, if you had a child and they wanted to play tackle football, would you let them? You know, or would you be like, nah, right, too much evidence?
I know I just not randomly, talked about how I don't really care about watching other teams and players from other teams. There was a time where that wasn't true, and I was eating up a lot of documentaries, or I just read for fun because I'm bored, or I need something kind of a break from when I was in school, whether I was working or whatever I was doing. You just need a break sometimes.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, and someone in the chat might be able to correct me if I'm wrong, Peyton Manning, like his dad, Archie Manning, was a quarterback for the New Orleans Saints back in the day when they were also really bad and they were called the Aints. But Peyton Manning's dad didn't let him or his brothers play tackle football. Like he didn't let them play Pop Warner.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he actually didn't want to let them play any kind of contact football, I think at least until like junior high. So if I remember my facts straight, it was either because of injury or because of something, or maybe because of their mom or their family. But it was like, no, you can play football, but it won't be contact.
Yeah.
Whereas there's people that have pro athletes that have their sons playing contact football, Pop Warner, all the way up until college. Would I do that if I had kids?
Yeah.
No. I would probably do the Archie Manning way, be like, you got to be in junior high or high school to start playing contact sports.
Word, yeah.
Until then, we're gonna work on your fundamentals and everything that you need to do to be safe and successful. But I also want my kids, if I do have kids, to play baseball, because baseball players, if they can make it to the pros, they play for like 40 years and they make a lot of money. So that's all. Yeah. That's my thing. Yeah, go ahead and play football, young king. But you're gonna play in junior high. That's when you're gonna start. But we're gonna start you off with some like flag football leagues. Get the foundations down. Like, you want to be a skill position. Like, we're gonna get your skills up. You don't need to play tackle to get your fundamentals of football down, at least in my eyes. And I know Archie Manning was a pro football player, and he was able to bring his sons up to speed. But I'm sure also even before they played tackle football, he was already teaching them and showing them how to be a successful quarterback. What do quarterbacks think? What do they do? How to think on your feet, how to throw. Like, I'm sure he was teaching them all that before they stepped on the field to get tackled for the first time with pads.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I might have mentioned the preseason that I did play tackle football. We had it in middle school in Spokane, Washington, through the Knights of Columbus League. I went to private school, and we had tackle football. And my fundamentals were bad. I didn't start knowing really about football until I was like age 9 or 10. And even then, like, I had to have someone show me how to play the sport. My dad knew nothing about sports except for boxing and basketball, which I did end up playing basketball, but I wasn't as good as I was. I don't think I was just mediocre, right? I liked playing sports, and I liked it better than watching sports. But yes, I did have tackle football. I did get the wind knocked out of me a couple times, but there was nothing serious. But I was like, I wanted to be like Bo Jackson, right? Bo Jackson back in the day played pro baseball and pro football. Like, that was so dope to me.
Absolutely.
Also, he played for the Raiders. And back in the days when I lived in Spokane, this was a point of contention because everyone in Spokane I ran into, they were mostly Broncos fans because of what's his name? John Elway, who is from Washington. Right, but they also the Seattle Seahawks, right? Yeah. Because they were the local team. And back in the days, the Seahawks were in the AFC, and I liked the Raiders, and I chose the Raiders based off of their logo, which is, the pirate dude, and that looked hard. And their colors being black and silver, really, like, that was hard as fuck, man. I love that. And then, like, I went to Spokane, and like I had like one Raider sweatshirt and Raider pencils and then like Raider stickers. That's all I had as a kid, and I got clowned on because I didn't like John Elway and I didn't like the Seahawks. But when I played football and I played baseball, I tried to think about like being like Bo Jackson, man, because Bo knows.
Yeah, Bo knows, man. I can feel that answer, man. I think I'm in the same boat. In fact, my experience in the game very much modeled that. I played tackle briefly in middle school. I did not play tackle before that. I played flag football, and then I played tackle in high school. And a part of why I'm like so interested in this question is because I'm very hesitant. Like, I got injured a lot in high school. Like, I went to the hospital 3 times from 8th grade to my senior year. And then once I had a lower spine injury, and then I literally had my foot broken off my ankle second game senior season. So in a way, I kind of feel like that might have been a better outcome for me than playing long-term and dealing with some sort of long-term head injury, since there's so much evidence that supports that is the eventual outcome from playing football over a long time. So Yeah, if my kid really wants to play, man, I think I'd be more willing to let him play in high school. He's more developed. He can be safer, but it's still just such a violent game. I wouldn't want him to do it any younger. So flag football may be a better option, and they have some leagues out here, which is actually pretty sweet. So yeah, man, I think we're getting close to halftime. I'll wait on the halftime hellos, man. But like moving forward, man, what's it been like so far with the DJing, man? How's the DJing going? I checked out your last spin on Wednesday. Tell me about it, man. What's it been like?
So, well, Wednesday was a special one. So me and my friend Ian Breezy Panda, uh, because it's my sense of humor and not for a lack of imagination, I was just thinking it was funny that me and my buddy could do a weekly back-to-back party on Wednesday nights and call it, let's combine our names, not completely, but just portions of our names. So I'm Thick Duvet and he's Ian Breezy Panda, so we become Thick Panda. And we had our other friend, Dr. Octopus, play with us one time, and so we called it Dr. Thick Pandapus is what we called the party on Wednesday. We did two back-to-backs with him. And so when our friend Heidi was like, I'm so down to do a back-to-back with y'all, our birthdays are on the same time, we should do a birthday stream together. And I was like, that's dope. And she's like, what do we call it? I'm like, let's combine our names. And so the best fit was Thick Panda Mode.
Yeah.
So it's also fun because it opens the door for if we ever do another back-to-back, we can call it like Thick Panda Mode 2 or
nice.
Thick Pandapus, Dr. Thick Pandapus 3, because we did two back-to-backs in consecutive weeks with Dean, our buddy. So yeah, we ended up doing a birthday celebration stream. My birthday was on Monday. Ian's was on the 11th, and Heidi is today's actually. So happy birthday, Heidi, if you're watching. We love you. Welcome to Seattle. I don't think this is your first time here. Her and her husband drove up. They're working, remotely, so it's a good little like week excursion vacation for them. But anyhow, yes. And then Heidi had the idea of like, well, we should do a charity stream. We should have a benefit for something. And so the thing that's been happening lately is there's been attacks across the nations. A lot of anti-Asian hate crimes.
Yeah.
And not just against like Asians, but specifically they've been targeting our elders. For some reason. They've been targeting them, and so there is actually an organization already formed. I think it probably formed like at the start of quarantine, because when quarantine started, when Trump was like, the China flu, the China virus, and basically a lot of anti-Asian rhetoric was out there, it like sparked a lot of attacks against Asians, and attacks against Asians actually went up 1,900% since COVID started. And so this organization, Stop AAPI Hate, which stands for Asian American Pacific Islander Hate, is an organization that helps bring resources and services to those that are affected. And so we decided to have our birthday be about that, to spread awareness, but also to donate funds to the organization, which the name is Stop AAPI Hate. And we had our three streams combined, Big Panda Mode, but we also had our friends Trixamillion. Shout out to Trixamillion and Antonio Uno or Ant Uno. And they did a back-to-back. They called it Bay to Bay, but they also had their streams linked to the donation for Stop AAPI Hate. So it ended up being like a small little raid festival, unofficially, but those are still our good friends, and we love them very much. And they came into my stream, which was the start of Thick Panda Mode, with donations already on the ticker. I think $170 already. Our goal was 500, but we were able to in one night get a total of $636.69. Very nice.
Absolutely, man. I'm glad you mentioned it. I got a chance to peep out the stream while you were plugging the organization, and I did donate. I wanted to contribute to the sentiment. So yeah, man, it's really messed up that is the case. It would scare the hell out of me to see my parents or my in-laws coming home and telling me that they literally felt like they had to run for their lives, or that they're being targeted publicly at grocery stores, or some other public space. So I remember seeing that in the news also. I really, really think that, at least in the near future, the partisanship and the way in which we dealt with the past 4 years and the rhetoric from the president, I really hope that we can come together and constructively deal with what America wants to now confront, because it's right up in our face. If you didn't think racism existed at the interpersonal or the institutional level, there's more than enough evidence that's been captured on camera, whether it be regular citizen cell phones or by CNN, Fox, NPR, to where, this is a conversation we need to keep having, not just with people, but I hope that curriculums can change too, especially with like my kid, whenever he is going through his Zoom calls with his teacher, I periodically listen in to see, what is the worldview that you're indoctrinating my kid with? How are you discussing the history of this country and its current state? It's fourth grade, so they're not going to treat it like a undergraduate course, but there should be some honesty, because the origin of this country is not pretty. It's very ugly, and it has not been rectified. So yeah, man, I think that was great that you did that, especially on your birthday stream. So shout out to you and everybody else who joined you in that online party, man.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and for anyone that is in the chat tonight, that if y'all tuned in last night and you tuned in and you donated whatever you were doing to support, we really appreciate it. It's never too late to stop spreading the awareness or to donate to the org. It doesn't stop yesterday, and hopefully these attacks against the elderly in our communities, our Asian communities, will stop.
Word, straight up, man. So yeah, let's talk to the crowd and say, hey, shout out to everybody who joined us tonight. Do our halftime hellos. Shout out to Kev's Corner. Shout out to my boy Fozzy 1000 in the chat. Major Nazer, once again, thank you for coming out. You could have been anywhere, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that. So yeah, man. Let's move on. So I like to do the food section. That's like a personal thing I really enjoy, right? And I wanted to get controversial on the food, but I think I'll save the controversy for the next episode. But I'll start with the setup. It snowed last week, and the snow stuck around. Wait, when did it snow? Did it snow this week? The days are Saturday together. Saturday. It snowed Saturday.
It snowed a little bit Friday night, and then Saturday it snowed. And then it snowed really hard Saturday night, and then Sunday. No. Friday night it snowed really hard. It was supposed to snow on Thursday. I got it wrong. Because by Monday it was already melting. So it was basically the weekend. Friday night, and then Saturday, and then Sunday, and then by Monday it was already all gone.
Yeah, so for the folks that aren't in the Pacific Northwest, snow here is a big deal, especially on the I-5 corridor. So my kids, we got to go outside and play in the snow. It wasn't quite Snowmageddon of 2019, so we didn't have snow that shut down essential services and functions. But it was enough
or that
to
stuck around for like a month.
Yeah. No. Most of the snow in my area is gone, which is great. But we couldn't leave for a couple days. But what ended up happening is I couldn't go do the food section. So there was one place in particular I wanted to go to, and they weren't able to open because of the snow. And what happened is I actually went to a bigger restaurant, a bigger franchise about a week or two before, and said, I want to do something on them. But I thought, I really want to focus on small business. So this time around, because of the snowstorm, I'm going to focus on the place I went to that's a little bigger than that. And it's Ezell's Fried Chicken. So for all those out there that like fried chicken, Ezell's Fried Chicken is straight up from the Northwest, from the city of Seattle. been around since the 80s, and they're a national franchise now, but they're homegrown out the Northwest. And I'm just going to briefly talk about my experience. So check it out. This is Ezell's in my neighborhood. Now, this Ezell's in particular did a really good job of letting you know you got to wear a mask for the operating hours. There's only 3 people allowed in the store, and the workers did a really good job of staying behind the protective glass shield. Their menus changed a little bit. When I would go before, I would get like a bigger bucket for the whole family, but this time around, the buckets they offered was smaller, and the menu was a little different. They have a kids menu. They have home baked sweetness, peach cobbler, sweet potato pie. They have snacks, crinkle fries, Cajun fries.
They didn't have all this the last time I went. That's crazy.
Yeah, they really upped their game. So here, let me go back. This is
back in the day. It was just chicken and sides. That's it. There's no kids menu. There was no like random other. That's amazing.
Yeah, man. Next time, when we hang out, man, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna go get some Ezell's fried chicken. Then we're gonna get Heaven Sent fried chicken. And this is the controversy I wanted to bring up. Ezell Steffens is the mastermind behind the recipe of Ezell's famous fried chicken, but he's no longer with the franchise. He left and he started a whole nother fried chicken restaurant called Heaven Sent Fried Chicken. And when you look at the menu, right, 2-piece, 3-piece, 4-piece, 8-piece with rolls, and you get sides, mashed potatoes, gravy, heritage mac and cheese, baked beans, fresh potato. This menu is very similar to what you would get at Heaven Sent. And what I wanted to do is have you come over and do a side-by-side where kind of like the Pepsi challenge before these two restaurants. But, moving on, when I went in, I made my order, I brought it home, and this is what I got. I got the spicy fried chicken with a roll, baked beans, and potato salad, and I was very pleased. They gave it to me very quickly. It was definitely wrapped in the recyclable container and a plastic bag, and they did not let anybody come in the store after the third person. So I'm giving them a shout out for being safe during the quarantine and still being able to hook it up with the food. And shout out to Runner Ham. Yeah, Ezell's got jacked. He straight up took, but the recipe is better. I actually think Heaven Sent is a better recipe. So next time, Pat or Thicc Duvet, when I get you, man, I'm gonna get both. I'm gonna sit you down. I'm gonna put you on camera, and we're gonna have you rate the chicken to see who won, Ezell's or Heaven Sent. So that's gonna come up in the future, everybody. When there's no snow.
I don't think I don't think I am qualified to say who won. Right? I can say what I like, and I can say whether or not I prefer one or the other. I'm just referring to like the specific words you said were like, tell me who won, because I feel like if I say one person won, somebody in the chat or somebody on social media, when we post it up, because I'm pretty sure we'll be like, hey, Patrick likes Ezell's or Patrick likes Heaven Sent chicken, and we'll post that on our socials. And I know people are gonna hate, and what we want to do in the Northwest Checkdown is we want to unify people and we want to inform people. But I don't feel like I am the qualified person to say who won per se.
Nice, yeah, that's cool.
Where I feel like, and we're saving this, and you know what I'm getting at. Eventually, we're gonna do segments about sushi, because that's where I feel like I'm very passionate about sushi. I'm a huge sushi snob, and I know that I can talk about great places. I know I can talk about how it's served. Fresh fish, all that stuff, because I've studied it, not in terms of being a chef, but I've done my research on that. So I would feel comfortable about saying, hey, y'all can kind of trust my word, because I've done my research and I've spent way too much money on sushi to be able to be an authority on that. However, for when it comes to fried chicken, I've eaten a lot of fried chicken as well. But I just don't think that my face or what I say will ever make me an authority to tell people what is better chicken. I can just say what I like. So that's my disclaimer to y'all. For those of y'all that are listening, is I am not a chicken expert or a fried chicken expert. but I will tell you what I like.
I never said you were, man, but it's okay to make a statement about, hey, this one to me. So for instance, one of my kids had a birthday a few years back, and I wanted to buy, either Ezell. I wanted to bring fried chicken to this birthday party. Man, we tested Popeyes, KFC, Ezell's, and Heaven Sent. Me and my brother-in-law, my wife, and my kids. We all consistently were kind of like, we don't know. It could be Heaven Sent. It could be Ezell's, but it definitely wasn't Popeyes or KFC. So you're entitled to your opinion. I get it. You definitely don't want to posture as a credible chicken connoisseur. And yes, I will actually echo, for all those who don't know, my man Thicc Duvet, it put me up on the sushi. For real, put me up on the sushi. Like, had to teach me what to look for and where to get quality sushi and where to get good cheap sushi. So that's another future episode we could do, man. We could
do the whole episode. We can do a series of episodes. We can do a Northwest Checkdown sushi special, if you will. We can bring in other sushi fans like Runner Ham. Shout out to Runner Ham in the chat. Also, you were talking about kids. Runner Ham just had a beautiful baby girl, so congratulations to Runner Ham. That's our dude as well. We all go way back to college. And I had to not really twist his arm, but be like, hey, me and Fubar are doing a little podcast / show. You should check it out. And love my dude right there, because he's very supportive. Yeah, but anyhow, yes, back to that. Me and Runner Ham really love sushi, and Runner Ham will tell you what he likes as well, and what he looks for, and the types of sushi that he's had. But that would be a lot of fun. But that would have to be definitely pre-programmed. We would have to have a set list of what we're doing, restaurants we're trying, what we're comparing it to, the research that we did. Oh man, I'm already writing this right now.
Well, let me also mention something, right? So for everybody, the way we kind of set up the Northwest Checkdown is we wanted to do seasons, and each season is about 10 episodes. So we do a season, we take a break, we do the next season. And as I was sitting here, thinking about stuff we can do for future episodes, I thought about, man, you know what? I know it's still COVID, but they might have the Taste of Tacoma and they might have the Bite of Seattle. And those are great places to just see like local restaurants, local food trucks on display in a small space where I can go taste test and get footage and then talk about it on the Checkdown. So that may be something that I reach out to you about, man, for future content, maybe season 2. But I'd be down to do a whole special on good sushi of the Northwest. And in particular, what's the name of that one place you told me about? It's an expensive sushi joint, but it's fire.
Sushi Kashiba. So if anyone's ever seen the and some people will try to say, and they'll hate, they'll like, oh, Jiro and Jiro Dreams of Sushi, that's so whatever, that's so overrated. I don't think it is. Being a huge sushi fan myself for many years and doing the research and watching that documentary, I do really wish that I had the chance. I've been to Japan twice to try it, but like his wait list to eat there, you have to, I think it's like 6 months, 3 to 6 months that you have to do it ahead of time. So anyways, Jiro is considered like a national treasure for Japan, and is widely considered the best sushi chef in the world, right?
Yeah.
He has had many disciples over the years. This man is still going, still making sushi. He should have retired like 20 years ago, but he's still going. He's had so many disciples over the years learn from him, and usually what happens is you learn from them, and you don't want to be number 2. Eventually, you've learned everything that you can, or at least enough to start your own restaurant, and you do. You do. Yeah. One of the men who did learn under him, that was his disciple, ended up coming to Seattle in the 70s and ended up helping start sushi in Seattle. And his name is Shiro, and he had been in the Northwest for a really long time. And then he ended up selling his restaurant, which still bears his name, Shiro's. We're talking about Ezell's, and Ezell no longer runs his restaurant. Shiro, I think, sold his restaurant, Shiro's, and then moved to New York. But then I think he came right back. Okay. And then, no, I know he came right back. For what reason, I don't know. But when he came back, instead of like trying to buy back Shiro's or whatever, because that's long gone. It's his name, but it's no longer his restaurant. He opened up Sushi Kashiba,
Okay.
and it's right along. It's like a block. It's what do you call that? Post Alley, right next to Pike Place and Pike Place Market. And Jordan and I went for my birthday. And the funny thing about Jordan, shout out to oh my god, Jordan, Runner Ham.
Runner Ham.
We went for my birthday, but I already told him, I was like, you're not buying my dinner because my dinner's gonna be like we had omakase, it was like $125, $130. And I think we had one more course over, so I think for each of us it was just a little bit more. So that's why I say like it was the best sushi I ever had. I couldn't eat sushi almost for 2 months after because everything that I ate tasted like garbage.
Mm-hmm.
You could really taste the love and everything about it. So yeah, me and Runner Ham went for my birthday a couple of years ago, and that's why I say it's not a place unless you're balling out of control and you got that much money to blow. Go there every time, but if not, make it a special date. That's why I told you in Preeti, go there for an anniversary. Go there for a job promotion. Go there for something special.
Yeah,
not because it only makes it special. It's because if you get like omakase, which is like the pinnacle of what you want, is like the fresh. The chef makes everything fresh for you right there. Obviously, most sushi restaurants do that, but like he gets to choose exactly what he wants to serve you. He's not making a massive order for a table. He's making it specifically for you. And if you get the chance to sit at the bar, he will talk to you and ask you what you like, and then serve you based on that. But Runner Ham and I weren't able to get in at the sushi bar. We got into the bar where they served alcohol. So we said we wanted omakase. So they kind of said okay, and then they would bring over the plates for us while we sat at the bar and we drank whiskey.
Nice.
So that's one of my favorite and memorable birthdays. Shout out to Runner Ham. But yeah, like he was not, I wasn't gonna take that $145 for dinner for each of us. Like I wasn't gonna let him pay for that. So yeah,
that's solid. This sounds like a fun experience. But yeah, $145 per person, that's a lot. But speaking of fine dining and sushi, maybe not necessarily food, but has anybody seen the movie Tenet? Has anybody seen this movie? Christopher Nolan's last movie. All right, I'm not going to drop any spoilers, but I want to speak to it without giving plot points, right? I was blown away. This movie really had me sitting there. Someone who loves film, that has a small base in videography, certainly not in filmmaking. I was absolutely shocked at what they were able to achieve on screen. And then after we watched the movie, I had talks with my wife, and I went online because I'm the type that if I love a movie, I want to see the interviews from the actors. I want to read about the script writer, their influences. I want to see the special features of the DVD. I'm that guy. I go on YouTube looking for this stuff, but what I get are all these reviews about how people are confused about the movie, and they think that it's junk, like it's psychobabble, pseudoscience, and a poorly written story. And I'm sitting here like, this is the problem. This is the problem. You see, we're in an era where people are consuming television shows and movies at high volume because they're stuck at home, but we're kind of looking for it to escape, right? So we're looking at stuff, in my opinion, just my opinion, that it spoon feeds the plot point to you. It spoon feeds the point. It spoon feeds from point A to point B, from point B to point C. And if there's any subtext, it's pretty easy to catch. And this seems to be what people are thriving on, because with Tenet, oh man, if you're that type of person that needs to be spoon fed the storyline, the subtext, or to discern what happens, you are going to not like this movie, because this isn't like Red Robin's. This is fine dining. This is, what's that restaurant called again? Sushi Kashiba. This is the Sushi Kashiba of film in terms of the level of quality, thought. It's not high volume. It's one movie. It's not like 10 episodes like The Witcher. I liked Witcher. I just finished it. But this is something that is for people that want to be engaged throughout the film, and they want to think critically throughout the film and piece it together like a puzzle. If you liked Inception, you're going to love this movie. But if you got lost in Inception you're gonna get even more lost with this movie. So, Thick Duvet, man, check it out. I have it. You can borrow it from me, but it was fire.
So I'm a huge Christopher Nolan fan, and I know that's not saying much because the stereotype is that like lots of guys, lots of men love Christopher Nolan films and tout them as the best films of all time. I like them. I won't say that they're better than other films. I just like I like the cinematography, I like the writing, and I like the actors that he chooses.
Yeah.
The screenplay is usually pretty dope as well. And one of the films that I want to bring up that is one of my favorites of all time is Inception. It's exactly what you said. I watched Inception. I didn't get half the stuff the first time, and you needed what's his name? The guy with three names to like repeat everything to explain to us what happens. This is the kid from that 70s show. What's his name?
Oh, what's his name?
Oh man, I'm getting so old. I'm forgetting his name.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
it's late at night.
But yeah, you notice in that movie he always repeats what they're saying, but breaks it down so that people understand.
Yes. Yeah.
Even then, the first time I watched Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That's right.
He dope actor. I thought he was annoying on that 70s show back in the day. It was that 70s show, right?
No, he was on Third Rock from the Sun.
Third Rock from the Sun. Jesus.
Yeah.
Almost the same thing to me, man. Whew. But anyhow, I needed to be spoon-fed Inception. And there was someone spoon-feeding me, and I still didn't get it. But that was also the beauty of it, that I found that when I first started getting really into movies, actually, I started getting really into movies when I met Runner Ham. Because he was really into movies, and he would talk about more than just like, hot women in the movies. He would talk about like tone. He would talk about cinematography. I knew a little bit, or at least liked a little bit about soundtracks, but spending a lot of time with Runner Ham and talking about movies got me to appreciate films more. And for films like Inception, yes, I actually liked watching it. And the more that I watched it over and over again, the more I knew about the film, the more I understood it. So when you're telling me right now that you're going to need to get you can't get spoon-fed Tenet and say it's a trash movie, I already know I'm going to love it, and I already know that I'm probably going to watch it multiple times. And this seems like also a movie that like that Runner Ham would probably like and watch multiple times just by virtue of you mentioning it.
Yeah.
But I hope it's good. I haven't even read the reviews. I don't really care because to me it's Christopher Nolan and I'm trying to watch that,
Yeah, 100%, man. The one thing I will say though is I don't want to invalidate the folks who said it wasn't good, because I think there is something that I experienced, I read that other people experienced, and it affected their ability to enjoy the movie. I don't think the sound mixing was done really well. I thought that they had the vocals a little too low throughout the movie, and the bassy synth melodies that give tension to scenes, I thought it was a little too loud. Like I said to my wife, baby, we got to turn on the open captions so I can read what they're saying, because I can't perceive everything they're saying. Yeah, I had someone in the chat, Runner Ham, posted, got a subwoofer just for it. Actually, I thought about turning my subwoofer off because of how much bass there is and how it collides with the vocals of the actors. So if you get the chance, man, just keep that in mind. But it's from a cinematography standpoint and how he likes to play with time, you're gonna really like it. Like I've never actually seen any of this ever on film, television, not even like I'll watch student pieces on YouTube. I have never seen this stuff before. Like I was just like, good Lord, man, this is brilliant storytelling. So shout out to them, man. But yeah, so Tenet to me is like Sushi Kashiba, fine dining, high price, but man, the quality it's that much better to me. So yeah, so I just wanted to to share that with everyone. And again, everyone in the chat, if you have any, let me see, I read some portions of the music were played in reverse. You know what? I noticed that as well. They did a lot. Okay, so what I will say, it's not a plot point, but when you watch it, Thick Duvet, some of the fight scenes are shot in reverse, but then played forward. So you're perceiving this, right? You perceive that, but it wasn't shot like that. It was shot like this. But you're watching it in as this. Later on in the movie, this becomes relevant to help you understand what's going on. And when I started picking up on how much of that they were doing that I wasn't noticing, I was like, oh my goodness. You know, like, here's a good one. I know people are going to love this. Everyone in the chat, if you liked Game of Thrones, tell me in the chat. Just say you were a GOT fan, right? Yep. See, we got fans of Game of Thrones in the chat. Thicc Duvet, I know you loved Game of Thrones. At some point when I was watching Thrones, I said, man, they have so many people on set and they have so much production value. I just don't know how they pulled this off. How do you have hundreds of people in the snow with a dragon flying overhead and these sweeping aerial shots? It's just a spectacle of size and scale. That's what a part of what was amazing of Game of Thrones. With Tenet, you're going to get that same wow factor. So I'll probably bring you the DVD, man. I want to talk about it with you so bad, but I don't want to expose anything. Yeah, man. Are you watching like any other shows? Like, what are you watching to like pass time?
One of my shows that I've watched that I told you about when the one time that we met up, just me and you. I've been watching a show called The Expanse on Amazon Prime, and it just wrapped its 5th season. Now, like many other sci-fi shows, but it's more in the cloth of like a recent reimagining of Battlestar Galactica, where it's sci-fi, but it's not cheesy sci-fi.
Yeah.
And it's not super geeky sci-fi. There's like drama, space drama, if you will.
Okay.
So The Expanse has that, and I like it. But Battlestar Galactica starts off like crazy in a boom, you know, shock, wow factor, all that stuff right at the beginning, and then goes down and then picks back up. But the initial shock like brings you in and then you're hooked, right? The Expanse starts off very, very talky. And by talky, I mean it has to explain everything. It has to set up the world and the universe that it's in, because it's not in the super future. There's no warp speed. All the physics is based off of real world physics. Just the technology that we have can't get us there yet. Like they have these, they're called Epstein drives. Like a Solomon Epstein invented an engine that is, I think it's a combustion engine. However, it is so efficient that it like almost never runs out of fuel. It's almost like nuclear, you know, like a nuclear submarine or something. But by propulsion, the gravity that they use in space is through thrust gravity, which means if you're imagining this and then standing up here, like this, your spaceship's actually like this and going that way. Just like when you're driving and you drive and you push the accelerator, when you're moving, the motion puts you back into your seat, right? Now imagine going really fast like that and having that being pushed back into your seat being your artificial gravity. And then when they're not moving in their ships, they're usually floating, and if they're not floating, they have gravity boots that go into that magnetize them to the ground in their ships. That's how they get around that. Like Star Trek has gravity plating in their ships. That's how they solve that. And like Battlestar Galactica doesn't even talk about how they have gravity on their ships. I don't know how they have gravity on their ships. Anyways, like I said, it's based off of real physics, and it's only set like I think 200 years in the future. So it's like there's already interstellar travel. We're mining resources in the asteroid belt. There's people in the asteroid belt are called belters. Mars declared their independence, so they're now their own like nation, so to speak. The UN actually runs Earth, so the UN becomes the de facto government of the entire planet. And the hijinks that happen around that. So that is why I love that show, based off of real physics, and it's really it's a good show, so watch it. But like I said, it's a slow burn.
Yeah.
So that means by a slow burn that the first 6 episodes are so slow that like people that have tried to put on the show, like they're like, forget it, dude. I'm on episode 3 and I'm so bored. But when I recommended Battlestar Galactica, they're like, oh my god, from the get-go it was awesome, but then it slowed down, but then it became awesome again. The Expanse, watch that. Amazon Prime. Really good show.
Let me add on to that. We're getting close, but my workplace, I get a lot of good suggestions for what shows to watch. The Expanse came up. I tried, man. I got through 3 episodes, and I can't tell you how, like, I was like, bro, I don't get it. I don't even know if I can sustain it. Whereas with Battlestar Galactica, I watched it in 2018 for the first time ever. I was blown away, man. I loved it. Like, that is, for me, that show, I just feel is like, I could watch it again now and not be fazed by the fact that it's kind of dated looking from the early 2000s. The content, the folks who play the roles, Starbuck was my favorite character. I loved Edward James Olmos as Adama, but with The Expanse, I've read nothing but good stuff, but I have the hardest time getting into it. So I'll probably have to check it out.
Get through the first 6 episodes. After that, it's been nothing but amazing. Season 2 you'll love, season 3 you'll love, like all the seasons. In fact, I think seasons 3 through 5 got a perfect 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, I think. Or maybe just this season. But either way, like the past 3 seasons have been just touted as an absolute masterpiece. And the funny thing is it was on the Sci-Fi Channel back in the day, and it got canceled. They just thought that it wasn't getting the viewership that it needed, that it wanted, even though it was a highly rated show. They canceled it, and then Amazon Prime picked it up, mostly because there was a campaign to save The Expanse. And when it went to Amazon, I watched the season before it ended, and then I was like on board with the campaign. It came back on Amazon Prime, and I've never been happier with a show. So amazing show. Please check it out. I don't want to spoil anything about it other than the physics that I kind of told you about, and that it's really boring the first 6 episodes. But like I said, that's to set up the whole world, because you won't really know the intricacies, because after that they're going to start throwing all these curveballs at you, and it'll be hard to keep up. But not curveballs like Game of Thrones, where they threw too many characters at you, right? And you don't know what characters on screen. You'll know which characters are on screen for The Expanse, but those first 6 episodes are a doozy.
Yeah, I think the issue I had was I was trying to watch it while doing other things, cleaning, cooking, and then pausing it, coming back to it and being like, all right, let me catch up, and being like, oh, it was too much. It wasn't too much work. It was just I was trying to do it while doing other things. But yeah, you're like, God, you're like at least the 9th person, the first person not from my workplace that talked about how much they like it. So I'll have to pick it back up and try it out, man. Hey, I just wanted to give a shout out again to everybody in the chat: Fozzy 1000, Runner Ham, Major Nazer, in Kev's Corner. Thanks for coming out again. You guys are awesome. So we're getting close to the time where we gotta break out. Who do you want to raid, man?
Let's raid my boy, the psychology department. He's playing is 2 days a week. He does Tuesday and Thursday. He plays Jersey music, and if you know about Jersey music, it's a really upbeat kind of dance music. I think he might be playing that as well. He's trying to get a push to get about 600 followers. So if you pull up there, go ahead and give him a follow. Great DJ, great person, one of my good friends. Let's go show him some love. If the music's not your thing, at least just give my boy a follow, because I'm hoping that he hits his 600 followers, because that's a pretty big milestone for here on Twitch.
Nice. Can you do me a favor? Drop the raid tag in the chat for me, man, and then I'll.
Gotcha.
I'll paste it in. The psychology department. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
try it again. I struggle with this every time. My boy, Mike, he was like,
You just need to put editing preferences on moderators in the thing, and then I can do the raid myself. Because if not, by default, only the broadcaster can set the raid.
word. Okay, yeah, so all right, so we're coming to that time. It looks like you guys are going to get rated to the psychology department. And once again, you could have been anywhere tonight, but you chose to spend that time with us, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thicc Duvet, you want to close it out, bro?
Just once again, thank you. And for those of you who didn't know, and I did have my birthday stream yesterday. My birthday was on Monday, but you know, if you can spread that awareness or support in any way, Stop AAPI. Hate is a good organization that will help give resources to those affected by the recent attacks against elderly Asians throughout the United States. But besides that, we're hoping everybody stays safe. Thank you all for joining us. You know, we love saying that. You could be anywhere, but you're here with us, and we really do appreciate that. So we're gonna go ahead and raid my friend Jur, aka the psychology department. So go ahead and show him some love as well. That's about it, and we'll see y'all in the next episode. So thank you so much for everyone for being here.
What happened to peace?
Peace.
Peace.